this season, and it has been a roller coaster ride. The Dallas Cowboys now sit at 3-2 after that loss to the San Francisco 49ers Sunday night. But now the boys had some time to sit on that loss and are ready to put it to bed. But first, before we talk about Week 6, we've got to run back Week 5. Welcome into Cowboys Rewind. I'm Nicole Hutchison here at the Star, and it seemed like the Cowboys took a step forward in their win against the New England Patriots in Week 4, dominating in all three phases, and they had all the momentum and confidence heading into the matchup against the 49ers, looking for their first win against that franchise since 2020. Instead, the Cowboys were picked apart, falling 42-10 in Levi's Stadium. Former Cowboys wide receiver Isaiah Stanback and the boys on Talking Cowboys this week had some thoughts about Sunday's loss. Here's what they had to say.
They got their butts kicked. That's the moral of the story. And we talked about it extensively yesterday. Obviously, JM just hit him over the head as well. You got punched in the face a couple times, and you left battered and bruised and embarrassed. You know, you probably peed on yourself a little bit, and everybody saw it. You know, and now you got to walk home and wash yourself and change your drawers and figure out the next outfit you're gonna put on. You know, and that's exactly where the Cowboys are at right now. They have a long ways to go, but you got a big week coming up. You know, I mean, this was what it was. You know exactly how far away you are from where you want to be or where you thought you were. It's good to know. It's good to know. We got work to do. Can we improve? Absolutely, we can improve. Can we make the corrections? Absolutely, we can make the corrections. Did you? Nah. You did not. But now you have film. You have film from this team. You know, we talked about the psychological warfare. You lost. Okay, you lost. But now, guess what? You got to figure it out because you do have a tough schedule. So you can look at it two ways. Hey, we got a tough schedule coming up, and it's just gonna be, we're gonna be some ups, there's gonna be some downs, and we're hoping to, have enough wins to get to the playoffs. Or you look at it and say, okay, every week we get better. We take out these teams that are respected and are all doing well, seemingly, that you have on your schedule, and by the time we're in position to hopefully play these guys again, we want some get back. That's how you have to look at it.
But I will say this, from my perspective covering this team, there won't be any they responded by winning the next 3 games in a row. They're right back on no, that's left such a bad taste. It's one thing if you lose that game and it's relatively close or whatever. That left such a bad taste that, honestly, they could win their next 6-7 games in a row, and I'd still be like, yeah, I don't know, man.
But that's the good thing. Yeah. But that's the good thing, right? That's the good thing about it. You get your butt kicked so bad.
Doesn't sound good.
No, it's good. It is good. I mean, if you want to look, there's multiple ways you can always look at it, right? Mm-hmm. But you got beat up. Right? I don't know. I've never really gotten beat up physically by a bully or anything like that, but there are people that have gotten beat up, right? These dudes just got beat. They just got the crap beat out of them, right? So to that point, you don't get over this. And because you don't get over this, if you have a competitive team, if you have competitive coaching staff, if you have competitive players, they are going to remember this, and they are going to take it out on everybody else along the way.
And Cowboys owner and GM Jerry Jones joined 105.3 The Fan this week. Here's what he had to say about the loss as well.
Very, very disappointed, of course, because we do and can play better. Number one of the first things that I ask myself in any situation, can we do some things different than we did against the 49ers? Can we do it? Are we capable of doing it? Do we have the players? Do we have the systems in place? Should we have planned to do it, but in case we hadn't planned, can we do something different? The answer is yes, we can. We certainly can make adjustments, and we'll make those adjustments. Have I seen our players do the things that we have to do to play that game differently if given a chance? Absolutely. I see we have the players and we have the systems in place to do it. We have, in my mind, make no mistake about it, we have a quarterback that can get us there. And so I feel very strongly there. We have coaching on both sides of the ball that can get us there. We're 5 games into this year. This was very disappointing. It was if you will, it was a stunner. But we've got to approach the thing from a piece by piece, put our head down and step out there and go to work and we're not going to have a better chance to go to work than we do against the Chargers here Monday night.
All positive vibes from Jerry Jones this week. He's got some faith in the boys to turn the page. Stay with us here on Cowboys Rewind. This offense is still struggling. How can they find some new mojo? That's up next.
Cowboys Rewind is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by SWBC Mortgage. Join the more than 120,000 customers that we've helped to find their happier way home. Visit swbcmortgage.com to find a pro today. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Cowboys Rewind. I'm Nicole Hutchison here at the Star. We still have quite a few things to run back from Week 5. This Cowboys offense still trying to find its way, and it showed up Sunday night against the 49ers. Just 10 points, 4 turnovers, and 0 red zone trips. This team's only scored 9 offensive touchdowns this season. The rest have come from the defense or special teams. And Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb very vocal about this team's offensive struggles.
CeeDee, you said before the game that you were going to learn things about yourselves as a team, whatever the outcome is. Is there anything that you learned about this offense?
About our offense, we got to be complete. We can't go out there one week and look like a super team, and then the following week. But
what's the identity of this offense?
I don't know.
Should you 5 weeks into the season?
I guess so. I don't know.
How do you guys find it?
I don't know.
The identity from last year, a complete night and day transformation. Under Kellen Moore, this offense ranked 2nd in the NFL, averaging 27 points a game. Through Week 5, only averaging 11.2 a game. The guys broke down this offense on Cowboys Break this week. Take a look at what they had to say.
One thing that became very apparent to me early in that game was that the Cowboys offense, I think by design, went into this game with the expectation they were going downfield. They were going to try to challenge this offense, this defense downfield. Yeah. Check out one of these numbers I found. Dak averaged 11.5 air yards per attempt in this game. Yeah. It was double what he's averaged in the first 4 games at around 5.9, which was the second lowest in the NFL. Right. But the production just wasn't there. Right. On 20-plus yard passes, he was only 1 of 3 with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Right. 10 to 20-yard passes, he was only 1 of 5 with 1 interception. Do you think this was the right strategy? Do you think that maybe how they did it may have been the problem? What do you think of their decision to go downfield more?
I did. You were there yesterday for Brian Schottenheimer, right?
Yes, it was.
What did he say about the man coverage? They didn't expect to get they didn't expect to get as much man coverage.
He did say
as they did.
The 49ers were focused on a lot of press man. Yeah, and that was something that they had to kind of combat through. Yeah. So he did mention that.
Yeah. See, that's where I think that to me the plan of going downfield, because the metrics told you, and we went through it last week through the next gen stuff, was passes that were 0 to 10. They're like 17 of 24. Beyond that, they were still having success, more on Lenore than on Ward on the other side. So, but they got a lot of man coverage in that game. And the things that I saw were that when you look through all the plays, there were some plays where guys were open, but it wasn't to the point where I thought, running to get zone, I felt like that the Cowboys were like, okay, they're just going to eat them up. But the Cowboys struggled with that when they got on the line of scrimmage to have to get off those, and I think it affected the way that Dak threw the football. And we were talking about if they could protect, they could make some plays, but we were thinking they were going to probably play more zone coverage. They said no, we're going to play man, and it goes back to a little bit of what Arizona did against you. And how they played with more man coverage than zone. So, I think that caught them by surprise a little bit that they weren't able to win enough in those one-on-one situations off the line.
You win games at the line of scrimmage, not the performance this offensive line expected to put on tape their first game back in almost 2,000 snaps. But it takes time to build that chemistry back, and they'll be needing it this Monday night against the Chargers. But when we come back, we're talking defense, some injury updates, personnel changes. All that and more is up next on Cowboys Rewind.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Just when the Cowboys thought they were at the end of the tunnel with injuries, the injury bug didn't waste too long to come back, and they're taking a big hit on this defense. C.J. Goodwin is out for the season after tearing his pectoral muscle, and the Cowboys will be without Leighton Vander Esch, who injured a neck injury Sunday night against the 49ers. Scary sight originally for a guy with a history of neck injuries, but the x-rays came back negative, so Vander Esch will only miss 4 to 6 weeks, but huge loss for this Cowboys defense. But like a death, no problem. You just go shopping. The Cowboys signed Rashaan Evans. He recently spent a few weeks on the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad. In 2022, he was a force for the Tennessee Titans, finishing with 157 total tackles. He had a stint with the Atlanta Falcons as well in the 2021 season. And Mike McCarthy, in the press conference on Thursday, told the media that he feels Evans was the best choice to add to this team. And hopefully he can make an impact sooner than later. That now vamps up the depth in that linebackers room. The Cowboys added another piece to the secondary as well. Cornerback Nashawn Wright, the guys on Players Lounge podcast, broke down what this move means for the Cowboys heading into Monday.
Then you talk about the cornerback position. At one time, this was the deepest unit, I think, on the whole entire squad outside of the defensive line. Now you look at it, thankfully Nashawn's going to be coming back because they're one injury away from, having to put one of those safeties at the slot corner or having to put one of them safeties outside. So it's a good thing he's coming back, man.
And you was questioning, I think for me, I was questioning Nashawn Wright whether he's going to make the team in the summer because of all the talent that they had. And obviously Kelvin Joseph departs, and still even with Gilmore and Diggs, you had to figure out what were you going to do with the rest of those guys. I mean, what's up your guy, McCormick? Yeah. His injury, how impactful it's been on the secondary, him being out. He showed you those flashes, but we haven't even been able to just tap into his talent.
Listen, it's gonna be a test. It's gonna be a test. But you brought up Kelvin Joseph. I'm gonna say this: aren't we glad for defensively that we don't have to go through that experiment again like we did last season?
Oh God!
Where Jackson, it was like, all right, well, who are we gonna fill in at this point? We're gonna give Kelvin Joseph another shot. And we all been sitting here with our hands up like, all right, dog. Here it comes. All right, dog. So that's not the team you want to do that against. I do worry because if you have to get out there on the field as a backup or a replacement against this type of team, where Kellen Moore's coming out here and they're gonna throw the ball, man, they circling somebody. Somebody getting circled, and you don't want to be that guy.
Who is that somebody?
Make sure to stick with us right after the break. TV host and reporter for the Dallas Cowboys, Cal Yeomans, joins the show to help me break down this Cowboys-Chargers matchup on Monday night. Make sure to stick with us. Not the best performance from our QB1 in Week 5 against the 49ers, but he's looking to bounce back against this LA Chargers team come Monday night. We actually got to hear from him this week. Take a listen to what he had to say.
I guess you can say, earlier in the week in the sense of you're pissed, right? You went out there and we went out there, put a performance out there like that, myself. Something you're not proud of, something that as I said before, that you didn't see coming at all with just the way that we prepared, our confidence level. So the last thing that we can do is allow that to really linger into the week. So, especially having the extra day. I guess we had the extra day to put it behind us, watch the film, whether that been Wednesday, and then come in and close the book on that and move forward to the Chargers, which are a really good team. And you don't have time in this league to have a hangover. And even after a game like that, as disappointing as it is, it's one game, thankfully. It's one game, and we've got to move forward, and we get a chance to go out here Monday night and put something else on tape and move forward as we get into go into this bye week and get ready to build off of that.
You have had a history of bouncing back from losses, but because this one you said a number of times you didn't see coming, it was like being blindsided. Does that make it tougher to move on?
No, I think no, not at all. I think if anything, I don't want to say easier in the sense, but you can't be shaken by it. You can't change your preparation. You can't change anything you've done because of that happened. I mean, bad night, bad timing for some turnovers. And we just couldn't do anything on offense. And at the end of the day, it goes into the third downs that were really manageable and things that we've been the best at in the league. We weren't able to do that. But credits to that. That's why our score looks like that, and that's why the game looks like it does. And so, as I said, no, it's a turn the page, it's a move forward, or you know that it's going to be a landslide, and that's absolutely the last thing that's going to happen.
Is that because you said there are things that you've done in the past? That's what makes it easy because you know this is more about what y'all didn't do than necessarily something they did?
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, you got to give those guys credit, too. They had a hell of a plan. They challenged us. We didn't respond the right way, and that's why it got ugly. So not going to just say, oh, it was all us. That's a hell of a team we played, and we're going to give them credit, but not going to allow that to shake our confidence in who we are. As I said after the game, maybe at this point right now in Week 5, they're further along than us. But there's a lot of football left, and we've got to make sure that we're continuing to get better, and that's been the attitude this week coming in, practicing the preparation, and we're going to continue to do that. As I said, that's in the past, and we've got a chance to come out on Monday night and put a performance together on all three sides of the ball that we're proud of and can go in the bye week, as I said, and build off of.
Well, we just heard from Dallas QB Dak Prescott, but now we get to hear from the GOAT, one of the best TV hosts and reporter, Dallas Cowboys. We've got Kyle Yeomans in the house. Kyle, we've got a big matchup on Monday night. Cowboys, Chargers. What do you want to see from this offense, man?
Well, I want to see some sort of consistency. I think that's the biggest thing that everybody wants to see for this Cowboys team throughout the season is not only the ability to move the chains and work the West Coast offense and to kind of work down the field, but you want to see consistency in the deep ball. You want to see consistency in the red zone. You want to see an ability to run the football, or at least a willingness to run the football as well. Utilize Tony Pollard, Rico Dowdle, and a couple of those other pieces on offense. If you can get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, you can get them in space, then all of a sudden you're going to have some more success. Taking care of the football is one thing. You've seen that a couple different times. You want to take care of the football certainly against this Chargers defense. That's going to really test the Cowboys offensively, but I want to see more consistency really across the board, and all of a sudden I'll feel much better about this team.
This Chargers team is a team that obviously plays a lot more zone than man. How much of an advantage, I guess, does this Cowboys team, should they take advantage of just making some explosive plays?
Well, I think really that allows for holes to open up in the defense, and if that's the case, then you're able to read and you're able to react. And Dak Prescott has been better against zone coverage than he has been against man throughout his career. So I'm excited to see exactly what they can do with finding the open spots in the zone, finding some holes in the secondary, because, hey, the Chargers are dead last in terms of passing yards allowed in the season. They're second to last in terms of the yardage allowed this season. There are opportunities to get after this defense, especially if Joey Bosa is unable to play with that toe injury. Then all of a sudden, I think you're talking about an offense that is building confidence and heading in the right direction. But it starts with reading the right coverages, and they're going to throw out different coverages. Yeah. It's not just going to be one thing, and I think Dak Prescott's got to do the right thing and make those right decisions.
This Chargers team gets their main guy back. 99% chance that he will be back. He was in full practice, I believe, on Thursday. Austin Eckler, I mean, how much of a challenge is that going to be for this Cowboys defense?
Ooh, he's a huge challenge. He's been a challenge since he entered the league, not just as a runner, but as a pass catcher as well. He's able to reel in almost everything that's thrown his way. He's like a black hole out there. He's swatting and grabbing and pulling everything in his direction. He's a phenomenal running back, but he's an even better weapon, and that's what the Cowboys are going to have to deal with in the flats, out on the edge. You can't let him get out to the numbers, kind of like with Christian McCaffrey. They did a nice job of slowing down Christian McCaffrey. Can they do it against Austin Eckler? That's a huge matchup going into this one.
I need a real quick score prediction from you.
You know what? I think the Cowboys do rebound, but I think it's close. 31-27, and the offense gets back on track.
All right, well, you heard Kyle Yeomans. We'll be right back breaking down more of this Chargers-Cowboys matchup right after the break. We're wrapping up here on Cowboys Rewind, Week 6 of the NFL season. Cowboys at the Chargers for Monday night primetime matchup. 7:15 kickoff. This will be the 13th meeting between these two teams. The Cowboys lead the series 7-5, but have only won one of the last 4 meetings. Let's take a look back at the most recent one, 2021 tied ball game until the final seconds. Cowboys kicker at the time, Greg Zuerlein, nailed a 56-yarder, called game. It'll be another battle out there in SoFi Stadium. The Chargers, fresh off a bye week after dominating against the Raiders in Week 4. The Cowboys looking to redeem themselves after Week 5 to ease their minds heading into their bye week. But that'll do it here for Cowboys Rewind. I'm Nicole Hutchison. See you next week.
Cowboys Rewind was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by SWBC Mortgage. Join the more than 120,000 customers that we've helped to find their happier way home. Visit SWBCmortgage.com to find a pro today.